A woman had a baby in the bathroom and left it in the toilet and then walked out like nothing happened.
What the fuck?
Homeboy wanted to give his son a hug after he was already put inside the car and buckled up and they were ready to go. Then punches the side of the car because he's mad at her for saying no. And then she proceeds to drive forward. He falls to the ground and gets ran over by the van, and then she just leaves.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So then somebody comes in and is like, "Hey," to person who was at the register, who this person was probably the most annoying, self-entitled person I've ever met in my life. And I'm so happy that I'll never have to see that person again a day in my life.
The person at that worked at the register?
Yeah, to give context to that employee, they came up to me and was like, "Hey, I have a waste question. Do you know where the store manager is?" And I was like, no, I don't, but I am a supervisor. I can answer your question." And they were like, "You don't know what you're talking about." And then just walked away. And then asked on the radio, because we all wore like radios with earpieces, where the store manager was. And then me being the petty little bitch that I am, clapped back over the radio and told them how they wanted to know how to write a bag in a box for like soda. How they wrote it off on their waste system, which I knew the answer to, and said over the radio when they asked where the store manager was. And then they proceeded to say over the radio, "No, I want somebody that knows things to actually answer this question."
What the fuck?
And my store manager, being my bro, like me and him hung out and like we would go shooting together, and like I'm still friends with him. I haven't talked to him in a while, but he's a good dude. I really liked him. So he clapped back over the radio and was like, "He's right, and you need to shut up."
Oh wow, that's good. I'm fucking glad he stood up for you.
Yeah. So this employee then like comes over the radio freaking out, yelling about how a guy got ran over. And I was like, "Okay, well, I need you to go back and work the register so I can be freed up to handle this situation because I'm the manager on duty."
Yeah.
And they just kept arguing with me, and I was like, "Fuck this." I was like, "Sorry guys, I'm going to have to ditch you here alone." And because she doesn't want to go back to the register, now I'm going to have one person in the kitchen and one person ringing, so that way the store can still operate while I walk away.
Jesus Christ. And somebody's about to fucking possibly die in the parking lot.
Right.
How
right.
bad was
But at the end of the day, he wasn't that bad. I don't even think he broke anything.
Oh, okay.
But this is the thing. Like, at the end of the day, I am not being paid to make sure that people that made poor decisions don't die. I'm being paid to make sure my store operates. So that has to be my number one priority. And for the managers that work for this company that isn't, they get fired.
Wow. So if you let somebody die in the parking lot, so like they would prefer you to let somebody die in the parking lot than go out and help them if it means the store doesn't slow down.
So it's not that. Like, they prefer there's systems. Like, they have their own set of checks and bounds built into their like structure and standards. So like me just leaving and not caring about what happening inside the store is the wrong answer. As to where, like, even if I closed the store and then went outside, that would have been better. So it just kind of depends on the situation. But like in that instance, I don't know that if this guy even really was ran over by a car at this point. So like I can't just automatically freak out and be like, "Okay, well, I gotta go, guys. Sorry that my paying customers don't matter anymore."
Yeah. As a matter of fact, speaking of getting run over at that very same gas station, that chain, but in my hometown, when COVID started happening, like just whenever it started, like right whenever the lockdown was starting, in our state, somebody at that gas station in my hometown coughed and didn't cover their mouth, and somebody else was like, "Oh, you need to cover your mouth." And they got into a fucking fight in the parking lot where the one person tried to run the other dude over with their car, and the other dude whipped out a gun and started shooting through the windshield.
I got you beat.
Okay.
In my hometown, for the same chain but a different location,
Mhm.
a woman had a baby in the bathroom and left it in the toilet and then walked out like nothing happened.
What the fuck?
Yeah. That also, that same location, when it got remodeled, they bought out the only apartment complex in that town, which was like completely filled. Like there are people that live there for years. They offered the owners of that building, I think it was like 7 times the market price of it. The owners sold it and they evicted everyone from it and bulldozed it so they could put a larger parking lot in.
Holy shit. What a
Yeah.
what a fucking monstrous company. I feel bad because I was just saying, like, after the stream, I want to go there and get food.
I mean, listen, bro. So every corporation is evil in some way, and anyone that is trying to make money or gain equity is going to do things that are morally questionable. That's just how capitalism works. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Also, real quick, I want to take a minute to look at the chat. I responded once in chat, a couple times in chat through text because I didn't want to interrupt you. But Londonderry Danny says hello. So, hey, Danny. And he also was making the suggestion, little person, to help you out there a little bit ago. V Falcon says WTF. Was that in reference to the toilet baby? Also, Londonderry Danny said, or sorry, try not to cough in the mic. Vi Falcon, was that in reference to Toilet Baby, or was that in reference to the guy coughing? Londonderry Danny says, haha, quote, I got you beat. Project Gnarly says he has a cute little worker girl emoji. I love that. Oh, you got a little sticker, a little dragon sticker. Is that for subbing? I fucking love that. That's so cute. Phoenix Star says hi. Hi, Phoenix Star. How are you doing? Also first time chat from viewer, the Crystal Council. Hello, ma'am. This is the Crystal Council. Please show your crystals and or rocks for the council to appraise. I don't have any crystals. I have this cat sticky notepad that I hope you enjoy. So,
I have a baby,
appraise
but
that.
I can't show you it.
Let them appraise the baby.
Bro, have you seen my baby? He is every parent says that their baby's cute, but I got a pretty cute baby.
No, your baby is cute, honestly, and I've seen some ugly babies too, and you have a
Yeah,
cute
ugly
baby.
babies exist.
Yeah, and nobody wants to admit when they have an ugly baby, but it's like, let's be honest. Like, I feel like also newborns, it's like just don't post a picture of your newborn. You can put that shit in a scrapbook, but all newborn babies look like aliens. Does that mean to say? I feel like it's accurate.
I definitely get that whenever they're first, especially if it's a vaginal birth.
Uh-huh.
Because they're just like crushed up and weird looking.
Ah, yeah, they're like little raisins. They're like gooey little raisins.
And they got cone heads because they just squeezed out the hole. Like they're not very appealing to look at in the beginning.
I didn't know that. Oh, that's weird. That's why I'm never pushing a baby out. I'll say that. Project Gnarly says it was a reward for turning into GlitchCon on Twitch a few weeks back. What is GlitchCon? Also, the Crystal Council says, oh yes, oh dear, the report will be left empty. The judge will require a hearing from you. Please enjoy the stream and day. We'll be in touch. Well, I thank you, Crystal Council. Maybe later you can appraise the baby. um, but yeah, I did not know that about babies having cone heads when they come out of vaginas.
Yeah, so when you have a baby, and this is why babies have soft heads, so their heads are in separate plates, so whenever you have a vaginal birth, it'll compress to a point where it doesn't hurt their brain or anything.
Whoa.
But it makes their heads small enough to to make it out of the canal. And then as they get older, their head like shapens out and becomes more normal.
That's why they have a soft head. Huh.
Yeah, it's because their skull wouldn't fit if it was one solid piece.
Oh shit. Well, that's also how your head grows because it's separate pieces and it could like I'm a big fan of whoever started the Crystal Council, says Londonderry Danny. Yes, I do enjoy that. Yeah, before we get back to the gas station thing, you ever think about how like the baby came out of where your dick was? Like, isn't that crazy to think? Have you ever like thought about that, or am I the first one to make you think about that?
I have. I think the more weird thing to me would be the fact that like theoretically half of my baby came from a microscopic white fleck that came out of my ball sack.
That is very funny.
Yeah.
Huh. So, that makes me think of that rap lyric that there's one that's like, "Yo, bitch drank my daycare." Um,
Nice.
um, so, uh, so speaking of daycare, we had a baby come out in the toilet of the gas station, and the bitch just left it there. What the fuck? So then what'd you do? Did you call, like,
I
who do
mean, so
you...
I wasn't working there. This was in like the one in my hometown. Um,
Oh, right,
and
right.
I actually like, I moved back, so I talked to the person who was managing the store at the time.
Uh-huh.
Um, and they said that like somebody screamed in the bathroom. They ran back there, and there was just like a dead baby covered in blood in the handicap stall.
Oh my God, it was dead? I guess
Oh yeah,
I don't
it
know
was
why that
stillborn.
surprised me. Oh my God.
I mean, yeah, dude, it was fucking nuts. Um, and then there was like a whole police investigation. It was all over the news. They blasted this lady's name everywhere. And then the state didn't press charges.
What the fuck? Wait, how did they find out whose the baby was? I mean, I guess there's cameras and shit, right?
Oh, so every store for that company has about 32 cameras in it. Um, and they're meticulously placed so that way at some point whenever you come in or out of the parking lot, they're going to get a glimpse of your plate. That way if like you steal or anything crazy happens, um, instead of trying to pursue you to make sure that you get caught, we can now just be like they were in this car with this plate. Go find them.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's pretty like the second store I worked at was in a very hood area. And it was a fairly reliable system. Like I had to go to court plenty of times because we found somebody through getting their plate when they were leaving the parking lot.
And what did they steal? Was it something small?
Um, I have had so many things stolen while working at those stores. I've had teenagers steal alcohol. I've had adults steal alcohol. I've had people steal candy bars, fountain drinks, like anything in the store has probably been stolen out of it at least once.
So you actually send the cops out if somebody steals a candy bar.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and it's to the manager on duty's discretion. It's not like the company was like, you have to press charges every time. Because realistically, that company makes so much money, they don't give a fuck if you steal.
Yeah.
But my theory on it is if I let you steal $2, you'll come back and steal 20 next week.
Yeah. No, that makes
Which is
sense.
true. It's
Yeah.
definitely true. And, yet again, being in a hood area, it's not like a lot of these kids aren't hanging out, playing sports and going to high school together and things like that. So when I let Remy Tim over here fucking steal a candy bar and he tells his buddies about it, well, now there's 5 kids coming into my store expecting to be able to steal candy bars.
Oh. Yeah, that makes sense. There was one time, I don't know why, I like had You know how like you get those thoughts where you're like you wouldn't do it, but you like think about it? Just like if you're like crossing a bridge and you have your phone in your hand, you're like I could chuck this phone off of this bridge and you wouldn't do it. I like had a thought while I was at that gas station. I was like I could take this, and then I was like there's no way in hell I would not get caught. Again, not that I
Oh yeah,
would, but
no,
take it, but
no.
I was
The
just like
cameras inside too. Like it's at least 98% of the floor space inside is on camera, not including the bathrooms.
no. So how did you know which bitch had the baby in the toilet, the dead baby in the toilet?
So from what that store manager told me, they recognized her on camera, like they knew who she was already.
Oh.
But the police verified using the plate.
Oh. So tell me about some other crazy shit in addition to the the dead baby in the toilet, which Jesus Christ.
Um, I went to stock my cooler once and walked in on a dude just straight up face fucking this chick in my cooler.
What did you even do?
Uh, I'm pretty sure I opened the door and was like, "What the fuck?" And then I just started yelling at them until they left.
Did they leave quickly or were they just like gonna see if you left?
Oh yeah, no. Like there's an emergency exit door right next to the cooler door.
Uh-huh.
So like they ran out while still putting their clothes on and just kicked open the emergency exit door and ran out that door.
How do you even get hard in a freezer? Like, that's my
Um,
question. Like, when your
I
dick.
mean, it'll still get hard. It's just now it's in cold air.
Oh, I don't know. The Seinfeld episode made it sound like they shrink when in the cold.
That is a thing. So like it will shrink if it's cold, but it's not like it's physically like it doesn't get harder to get hard that way. It's just it got smaller because it was cold.
Oh, we all learned
Yeah.
something about dicks today, guys. Yay. I guess except for guys, because they probably already knew that. But I learned something about dicks today. Yay. Learned something new every day.
Um,
But yeah, so
ready
that's.
ready for a dark story?
Yes, always,
Uh,
please.
so there was this crazy crackhead that lived like a block away from this store. Um, and one day she decided to come into the store, smash a bottle of wine off the ground, and then shove a shard of glass in their arm and go up the street not crossed.
Jesus Christ. And for those of you who
Yeah,
don't know, up the street means like taking the blade and going down your arm, or rather up your arm instead of, quote unquote across the street like this. So, without like saying anything triggering, I guess, that's I'll just leave it at that's very lethal to do. I'll leave it at that. Um,
right.
but yeah, so Jesus Christ. So, and that
Yeah,
was
and
in
that
your store.
person, yeah, like just getting fucking blood everywhere. And like that person was a repeat offender for just doing crazy shit in public. But nobody cared about that person enough to like stop these things from happening.
So, what the fuck? So, what did you do when you saw that shit?
Um, I was not there that day, fortunately,
Oh.
but they pretty much anything you can do when you're dealing with some crackhead that just lost it. You be nice and you call the cops and an ambulance and you just wait for them to show up.
And this was like in the middle of the store. This wasn't in the bathroom. Like everybody saw this shit.
Yeah, and yeah, like the wine bottles are just in the middle of the floor. Like it's not like they're in a special cooler or anywhere thing. They're just sitting on a rack by a wall.
My God. What the
Yeah, so
fuck?
the bloodiest experience that I had with that gas station was so there was this guy and his girlfriend.
Oh.
Both of them had PFAs against each other for domestic abuse. The guy went to jail for DUI and got out, and she left him and like kicked all of his stuff out. but she kept his PS3. So he got really drunk and then got into a go-kart because he's not allowed to drive cars.
So go-kart, my God.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that was his logic. It's not a car. He drove it to her house, which was like across town, crashed the go-kart into her neighbor's porch and completely destroyed this porch. And then proceeded to go in there to try to get his PS3. She told him to get out. He said, "Make me," and she stabbed him in the leg.
And this was at that point, or wait?
No. This was at her house.
I'll bleep.
Yeah,
I'll
this
bleep
is
that
just
out.
leading up.
I'll bleep that out. That's at 30
okay.
seconds.
You're good.
And 30 minutes and 52 seconds. I'll make sure I bleep that out.
You're good, bro. So yeah, so this was just at her home, and then he stumbles out after getting stabbed a time or two in the leg, and then crawled the block to my store, and then just sat outside my store crying, bleeding everywhere. After having a really long day of just getting my teeth kicked in, making food and trying to keep up with managing this gas station in the middle of a pandemic, go outside to smoke a cigarette, to see a former employee who was drunk, standing there talking to this dude who looks pretty drunk at a table. And I'm like, well, fuck it. I got 5 minutes. I'll go BS with them while I smoke this cigarette. And when I get over to the dude, I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Because I now see the stream of blood coming down his leg. And the former employee was trying to help him with like a medical aid by patting at his stab wound with brown napkins. And I was like, bro, that's not going to help.
Oh my God.
Right. So then I went in and got these like little white disposable rags that we had and some gloves, and like tried to give her the gloves, and she was like, no, I don't need them. I already have his blood all over me. And I'm like, yeah, but herpes, bro.
What?
And they just didn't take the gloves. They were like, I already have it on me. It doesn't matter. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to risk getting blood on me. So I guess you can just hold these rags on this stab wound while we wait for an ambulance to show up.
Also, like, that's not good for the fucking person who got stabbed either, because your hands aren't goddamn sanitary. Nothing about that is okay.
Right, but it's in a gas station parking lot, so like, who cares? I guess I don't know. Like, and this falls back to like how bad they beat your soul down, because it just got to a point where I was like, I don't fucking care. Like, I couldn't have cared less if that dude died. I was more upset that my smoke break got interrupted. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wait, did that dude end up dying?
No. So he started like bawling and tried to run, but he couldn't with his stab wounds and just fell to the ground. And I was like, what the fuck is your problem, dude? And he was like, then proceeded to tell me how he got stabbed and that he is not allowed to drink by like the judge's orders.
How do you control that? Like, as far as like the judge saying, hey, you're not allowed to drink, like, how does anyone monitor that?
Well, I mean, like, sure, he could drink in his own home. Like, nobody's going to be able to tell. It's not like they have cameras in his house. But essentially what he was told is if he had another public incident with alcohol, no matter what the incident was, that they would revoke his parole.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jesus. Also.
Oh,
go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if at any point I ask you to repeat something or ask a question that you might have already answered, my Adderall wore off several hours ago. So if my brain lags, that's why. Just wanted to give you a heads up. But as you were saying.
Yeah, so the police showed up first, which kind of makes sense for that area, considering there was a stabbing being like investigated at this point.
Yeah.
They start questioning him. He loses it again because he doesn't want to go to jail. the drunk former employee who should have just been a bystander is now like trying to argue with the cops and telling them that like he's a good person and that they shouldn't arrest him.
Oh my
And I'm like,
God.
yeah, like she wasn't being insane about it and like getting in between them or anything. But she
Yeah,
was
but
standing there being like, why are you putting handcuffs on him? You shouldn't be handcuffing him. Yeah, and then like they got that situation figured out. And I was on the phone with like the security team at corporate who was monitoring this all over camera. Um, and the cops took this dude over to the ambulance, and I looked at the former employee and I was like, "Look, bro, I appreciate what you did, but you should really get out of here. Like, you're shit faced, and you were just arguing with those cops, and I don't want them to come back and try to hit you with something
yeah.
because you didn't agree with how they handled the situation." And she got really upset and was like, "We're no longer friends. I can't believe you fucking talked to me that way. This,
Oh
that,
my
and the other thing."
God.
And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Bro, I'm trying to help you out. Like, I'm not." And like, I've apologized to that person. And I've tried to make amends, and still to this day, they won't talk to me.
Jesus Christ.
All because I was like, "Yo, bro, you probably shouldn't be here drunk right now, arguing with the cops."
And I feel like I like can't imagine you saying that in like a non-diplomatic way. Like I feel like you're really good at talking to people.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like I'm a sociopath. That's my thing. Like I like I like controlling the conversation. So I would not say it in a rude manner, especially to somebody that's drunk who's not going to react to anything rationally. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I ended up shooing her away. And then I spent 40 minutes cleaning blood off of the sidewalk. And then I went inside, washed my hands, and made food for 4 hours.
Oh God. Wait, so how the fuck do you get blood off a sidewalk? Hydrogen peroxide?
No, there's a special cleaner that they buy specifically for cleaning blood up.
Oh, just in case somebody gets stabbed at the you gotta make sure you get that
Oh yeah,
prepared.
no. We have. You said it again, Danny.
Oh fuck, I'm so sorry.
You're good.
I'll write down the sign. Thanks for letting me know.
You're good. Yeah, no, we had bodily fluid kits. And every store that I worked in usually kept about 5 on hand. And to put that in perspective, you get 3 deliveries of inventory from corporate a week. So you're expecting to need 5 in 3 days to have an on-hand number of 5. And that cleaning kit is specifically designed for either like shit, piss, vomit, or blood.
Huh.
Yeah. I had a drunk guy take a shit in my parking lot once.
What?
Yeah, so this dude showed up at like 3 a.m. shit-faced drunk and parked in front of like pump number 7, let's say. And then proceeded to sit there for like 12 hours shit-faced drunk. He pissed his pants, got upset that he pissed his pants, went inside to the gas station, bought a case of beer while extremely intoxicated, which in the state of Pennsylvania is illegal, not only for him, but for the person that also sold it to him.
Uh-huh.
And then he pissed himself again while he was standing inside the store.
How do you
He
pee
stole a
yourself
cup of
twice?
coffee. I don't know, bro. He stole a cup of coffee, went out, got back into his truck, drank like 4 cans of beer while he was sitting at the same gas pump, and then opened his driver's side door, leaned his bare naked ass out of his truck, and shit on the concrete. And then somebody told the store manager who was there at the time that there's some dude just shitting on the floor outside. So they then called the cops and had a whole investigation and this, that, the other thing. Yeah. Somehow they did not lose their liquor license over that, which I'm really surprised.
I guess whenever you're a like very prominent company, it's harder to I don't know. That's insane. Also, oh, what's that?
I think it was more that it was handled in a manner where it was very hush hush. Like if the PA Alcohol Control Board, which is ran by the Pennsylvania State Police, had heard of what happened, they probably would have investigated and taken it, but nobody really knew that situation happened.
Oh, they just knew that some guy shit in the parking lot, basically.
No, like it wasn't in the news. It didn't get out anywhere. Like the cops just came and arrested the guy, and it was never spoke of again. Outside of like my boss's boss showing up and being like, "What the fuck happened?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there was never another external body that even knew that happened, let alone had a conversation about it happening.
God, I'm just picturing the fact that you had to clean up poop.
Oh, I didn't clean that up.
Oh.
That happened at 2 p.m. That man got to that store at 3 a.m. And I started work at 4:30 p.m. that day, and it still was not cleaned up. And I was like, this is absolutely ridiculous. You guys aren't going to leave shitty jobs here for me to do. So we're going to one by one go through every management team member here. And I'm just going to start sending people home until somebody cleans it up. And they were like, well, you get paid more than me, so you should do it. And I was like, you were here when it happened and let some drunk wreak havoc on this building. So go fuck yourself and clean that up. Or punch out and go home. I don't care which one you do.
Oh my God. Yeah, I wouldn't fucking clean it up if I fucking showed up and there was fucking poop on the goddamn like ground. It's like I wasn't here for this. Like you weren't even there for that. Also, oh, go ahead.
And they left it sit there for 3 hours because they were like, Richard will get it. Like, nah, fuck you, dude.
That's so fucking nasty. Also, Legendary Danny says, how do you pee yourself twice? Asking the important questions. Yes, I want to know. I don't know if he like. I mean,
it could have been the case of beer that he drank while he sat in that parking lot for 12 hours.
I didn't realize he sat in there for 12 hours.
Oh, yeah, no. He pulled up to, like, pump number 7 at, let's say, like, 2 a.m. or 3 a.m., and then he didn't get arrested until, like, 2:30, 3 o'clock.
And he just waited there the whole fucking time?
He just sat in his truck and, like, drank.
And he shit out the door and then didn't drive away after that.
No, he shit, like, in the afternoon. Like, he was still there, and that's when he took a shit. It was right before the cops came and arrested him.
Ew, and he just, like, put his duty butt back in his pants.
Yeah.
And there's a bathroom in the fucking gas station. He could have just...
This was after he already went to the bathroom in the gas station.
And his pants. Oh my God. Oh my God. If I ever like become an alcoholic like that, where I'm just like pooping and peeing all over the place, like in a gas station bathroom, just shitting on the ground and like, just take me out to the farm, man.
I got you, bro. I have an AR with a scope on it. I'll take you from a distance. You won't even know what's going to happen.
Good. Okay, cool. That's comforting. That's very comforting to know. And we have it recorded that I requested that, so you won't go to jail.
That's not how that works.
1 second. Thought somebody knocked at my door. Well, I'm not fucking answering it. Anyway. That's not how that works.
Yeah, assisted suicide is illegal in the state of Pennsylvania, and that's what the federal government considers that.
Oh.
Yeah, because you're not doing it out of malicious intent. So it gets, like, if it was aggravated, then it would be, but since it's not aggravated, it's just considered a assisted suicide. It also depends on, like, who's prosecuting you and what they're trying to go after and stuff, too. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know.
Well, noted. At least I don't have to worry about getting shot if I start shitting in a parking lot. That being said, we still got a little bit more time left. I was gonna ask you one of those other questions, but I'm actually interested to hear with some other stories you got to dish. We got like 15 more minutes.
Let's see. There was a guy that worked for me who wholeheartedly believed that the Beastie Boys invented rap music.
Okay. Also,
Like, not being funny. He legitimately believed that.
I mean, rap music literally has existed for fucking ever. So I don't
Right.
even understand.
And it was on a shift where it was me and then the like supervisor that was working immediately below me, but who was still a manager. He was African American, and he was like, "Bro, you're nuts. It comes from like singing in the cotton fields and tribal songs from back in Africa, and it's thousands of years of evolution to where it is now." And
Yeah,
that guy was like, "No, you're wrong. It was invented in the '90s by the Beastie Boys,
by white people. Yeah.
by white people."
Oh my god. I fucking had to Google that real quick because I was gonna say something about it, like about them just saying that fucking white people invented it, and then I was like, I had to Google Beastie Boys just to confirm that they were white guys, and of course.
Oh yeah, wasn't too sure if they were white or not.
Well, I figured, but then I was like, if I'm wrong about this, I'm gonna feel dumb, so like, let me just double
Right.
check. Also, if you guys have any questions, uh, in the chat, let me know. Feel bad I haven't been asking you guys a whole lot, but yeah, definitely hit us up if you got any questions. What other shit you got for us?
Um, I had an employee who they were texting while ringing customers out, which is my biggest pet peeve.
Yeah,
Because
that's fucking
that
ignorant.
company, their policy is you are not permitted to have your cell phone while you are working.
Yeah.
But I'm being the cool guy boss and being like, look, you can have it in the back room. But if I see it on the sales floor, even if there isn't a customer in this building, I'm going to write you up for it.
Yeah. It's
Um,
just being
so when I came over to
reasonable.
them, right, when I came over to them, I was like, yo, bro, I get that you have like your own personal life going on. And this employee specifically like fights with her boyfriend or fiance, whichever one it was, like constantly.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I was like, look, I get that you and your boyfriend are fighting, but like you're at work getting paid, so I expect you to be doing the things that you're supposed to be doing while you're at work getting paid.
Yeah.
And if you can't do that, you're more than welcome to go home. I was an ass boss. Like, I wasn't an ass. I was cool, but I was firm. You
No,
know
I
what I
think
mean?
that's pretty reasonable. I mean, shit,
Right.
like,
Like, if I'm going to pay you, I want you to do work. And if you're not going to do work, then just go home. Eventually, I'm going
yeah.
to fire you for not coming to work or leaving work early all the time. And I'll hire somebody in who actually does want to work. And that's okay with me. So, um, but yeah, so then I walked back into the office, because like as an assistant manager, there's paperwork and shit that you have to do, and like there's time out of the day where you're allotted to do that paperwork. So I went back in the office and sat down at the computer, and this fucking bitch was on her phone, like phone to the ear talking.
Like you saw it in the fucking cameras right after you told her not to.
Yeah, I walked 5 feet away. There's one wall dividing us. And from me saying, hey, stop being on your phone at the register, to me walking down this little hallway and then going into the office, there's a TV screen in the office that shows you the register camera. And she's just standing there on the phone.
Oh my god. So you wrote her up, I'm assuming.
I didn't write her up. I sent her home. I'm not like writing people up is dumb. I'm going to send you home because if I want to get a message across to you, it'll be a lot more effective if your paycheck has $100 less than me giving you a piece of paper.
Oh, fuck yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. And like it's on top of that, it's more of my time being wasted not doing actual work related things because now I got to sit in the office and type up a write up and then email it to my boss and call her and like get her notes on it. And then whenever she gives it the thumbs up, I have to call her boss and then talk to that person about it and get their notes on it. And then they approve it, and then I can pull that person into the office and write them up. So it's like a 2-hour ordeal to do a write up. It takes me 2 seconds to tell you to go home.
Oh. Huh. Noted.
And employees that suck that you're going to send home, when you send them home, because everybody's like, it's one less person. Like, am I really missing that much? Like,
No.
if you're fucking up to the point where I'm telling you to go home, then clearly the amount of effort that you're doing isn't enough for me to care if you're not here.
Yeah.
Like, I might even have a more productive day then.
Yeah, because somebody's not getting in your fucking way, requiring you to stop what you're doing all the time.
Yeah, I don't got to babysit an adult.
Yeah, exactly. Also, Legendary
Um,
Danny says, no questions from me. All right. Yeah, if you guys think of any, hit us up, but also that's
I
fine.
had an employee who was like in his 50s. He was retired and got this job to like help pay for his kid to go through college or some shit like that. But yeah, just quiet, normal guy, no problems.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an employee that worked for me who was super annoying and everybody did not like them. And they were causing problems for this dude. And he was like, you need to leave me alone or I'm going to get upset. And then they said something to him again immediately after he said that. And he slammed the register so hard, like slammed it closed so hard that it broke it and it slightly welded it closed from the heat.
What?
Yeah, like the amount of heat from the friction of him slamming it so hard. It wasn't like a solid bead weld, but you could see little spots where like the metal fused together from him slamming it so hard.
That's like impressive, actually.
Yeah, and he was an old dude. Like I was more impressed than upset whenever I heard about what happened.
Yeah. So did he end up getting in trouble, or were you basically like, yeah, that guy should have left him the fuck alone?
No, he got in trouble because he damaged company property, and that's not okay, even if you're being annoyed by your coworkers.
True. True.
Yeah, and then that dude got into like a screaming match with a customer. He had some definite anger management problems.
Jesus. Also, an opportunity for me to plug tomorrow's stream on anger management. Heyo. So if you guys struggle with anger, or if you know somebody else who struggles with anger, tune in tomorrow. This gal needs to work on that. This gal has been working on that, actually. Have you ever known me to be an angry person?
Um, Not when it wasn't deserved. Like I've only ever seen you upset in situations where it was fairly reasonable to be upset.
Okay, that's fair. Except for that one time I got really bitchy because Ryan kept fucking with my character in D&D, and I got really mad at him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like bitchy the whole session, and everyone was like, "Are you okay?" And I remember like at the end, like we revealed curses we were under, and I forgot that I was under a curse, but I was like, "Oh, my curse is that I think that I'm better than everyone." And I thought they were gonna be like, "Oh, you forgot that you were cursed and didn't act it out," but instead everyone was like, "Oh, that
It
explains
all makes
it."
sense now.
Gotta work on my game rage. You also, I don't know if you were
Yeah.
there that time that we played Monopoly, but nobody should play
Oh
Monopoly again. They
no.
take it a little too seriously.
Ryan 100% refuses to ever play Monopoly with me.
I mean, it brings out the word. Do you guys agree? Does that happen to you guys? Like fucking Monopoly just brings out the word. Is there anybody you're banned from playing Monopoly from? I really wanted to play Monopoly on Christmas, and there were people that objected. Uh, no idea why. So what did you do to Ryan that you can't play Monopoly anymore? Just get too angry?
Um, Sorry, I'm Snapchatting my little sister.
That's okay.
She's talking to me about going to the gym and she lost like 20 pounds or some shit. So I was like, "Oh, congrats, dude."
Oh, good for her.
Nothing. So Ryan adamantly believes that if you play Monopoly with somebody, it'll ruin your friendship. Even just one game has too much of a likelihood to ruin your friendship.
Fair enough.
And me and Ryan have known each other since we were 3.
Fair
So
enough.
he values our friendship over playing a game of Monopoly.
I remember I played with Kat, whom I've interviewed on this stream before. I was playing Mario, and I got a power up, and she's like, "Stop! If you keep doing it, I'm gonna quit." So I just had to sit there and just do nothing until the power up went away.
Really?
Yeah, this was years ago. She's chilled out a lot since then. This was like 10 years ago. We've been friends for a long ass time. But we got about 5 minutes left. I'm curious. So with all of the shit that you dealt with, I'm gonna stop clicking this pen because everyone could probably hear it. With all of the shit that you dealt with, how did working at this gas station affect your mental health?
So in the beginning, it wasn't bad. And to give this context, like, this was right after I got out of the military. So like I really wasn't in like a too terrible spot in life. Um, but like I went from being 100% clean and sober to smoking weed to be able to sleep because of the amount of anxiety that place gave me and the
Jesus.
the 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 level of standard that I was expected to meet with like all of the COVID regulations and cleaning and stuff like that. And they didn't really give us any more people. Like instead of being like, oh, well, you need to have somebody clean this entire building with an anti-COVID cleaner once every hour, so we're going to give you an extra person for 24 hours because it's a business that's open 24/7. They said, hey, you have 8 people on this shift. Technically speaking, you now have 7 people, but we didn't take the 8th person away. Be thankful. That's going to be your person that cleans for you.
Jesus Christ.
Which, like, wouldn't be too bad if the 8-person shift didn't end at 2 p.m. and it goes from 8 people to 4 people at 2 p.m. And I'm now expected to operate my store with 3 people because that magical 4th person is going to be cleaning
Jeez.
all day.
And you dealt with so much anxiety that like you couldn't even stay sober.
Yeah, dude. Like I literally could not go a day without smoking like large amounts of weed. Like I would walk into that place fucking stumbling.
Really? I don't know if I've ever
Yeah,
gotten
like
so high that I was stumbling.
yeah. Like I'd get fucked up just and then like when I would take my break, I would take my break like as soon as I got sober and I would just sit in my car and smoke weed for a half an hour straight and then go back to work. And then
Damn.
like there got to a point where they were like, your job performance isn't meeting our standards. If you don't start performing better, then we're gonna fire you. And I was like, I'm literally doing everything I can. Like I don't know what else I can get done in a day. And they're like, we don't know. Like we tried giving you advice and it didn't work. So you just need to find something that's gonna work out for you. But your like task completion and stuff like that needs to get better. So then I started popping 2 Adderall a day to keep up with the work demand.
Jesus. And is that how you started basically getting addicted to Adderall?
Yeah. I mean, I did it like a few times when I was in the military, but like, um, there was a friend that I bought a bottle of like 500 pills off of because yet again they paid me really good money, and it was just me and my wife at the time. We didn't have kids, so I just was like, okay, well, I'll spend $400 a week on Adderall and still be able to pay my bills.
Holy shit. Also, Phoenix
So I
Dust
would
says
just
goddamn. Oh, go ahead.
right, but it's like the functioning meth addict thing. You know what I mean? Like if I can stay up all day by taking a bunch of Adderall and like I kill it at work, and whenever I come home and I'm tired and I don't have the energy to do anything, well now I can just pop another Adderall and I'm good for 12 hours.
Jesus. And
So
for
you just
oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say you just get in this really like rapid self-destructive cycle because like they push you to want to like promote and stuff like that. Like when you go from an assistant manager to a store manager, it's a very large increase in pay. Like they make you want it.
Yeah. How much were you making as a store manager?
Well, I only ever made it to assistant.
Oh, okay. How much would you have made as a store manager?
Um, their salary, and it's all negotiated.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
Wow.
so like I honestly couldn't just give you a number because that number doesn't actually exist.
So with the addiction to Adderall that you gained from working at this gas station, and you said that just today you took 7, or was this yesterday?
It was a couple days ago, yeah.
And that's 7 of 20 milligram tablets?
Yeah, and it barely touched my system, and it's been a while. Like I don't pop it like candy anymore. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? Like um but it just goes to show you like that's the level of um just immunity that my system has to it now because for a year and a half I would take that many a day sometimes.
Holy crap. And for reference, you guys, so I have ADHD. I'm prescribed Adderall. I take one pill of 5 milligrams every day. And I'm going to use a calculator because I'm not going to pretend I'm fucking good at math. So 20 times 7 is. So 140 milligrams is what you were taking. Jesus Christ.
And there were times where like I would take the 20 milligram quick release tablets and I would like chew up and swallow 3 of them at a time.
Jesus Christ. And you say you're taking 28 times what I'm taking. I'm prescribed.
Right. I'm sure at some point like I've gotten very close to ODing.
Can you OD on Adderall? Well, I guess that would make sense. Can you?
It might not be like a traditional OD, but
Mhm.
like it could definitely get your heart rate to a point where blood stops pumping.
Jesus Christ. So this place almost fucking killed you.
Oh, definitely. And like I had to like fire people that I was close friends with, and the only reason that I had to do it instead of my boss was because my boss knew that and she just wanted to test my faith.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and there's people that I fired that like still to this day won't talk to me because they're upset that I didn't warn them that they were going to get fired. And I was like, "Look, dude, like you have to look at it from the position that I'm in. If I would have told you, they would have found out and then I would just be getting fired as well."
Yeah, because of course you're going to be disgruntled. You're going to tell people you're not going to work as hard because you already know you got fired. Like,
Right.
Jesus
It,
Christ.
yeah, like it would have just not been good for me. So I didn't unfortunately I didn't warn those people and yeah, they're not my friends anymore.
Wow. And And after all this, I mean, getting fired was like a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, I mean, so I work for a private company that's fairly large, but I make more money. I make
Oh, really?
uh yeah, I just got a raise last week and it was $4 an hour increase.
Oh, yeah, you did tell me that you got a raise. Well, I didn't know you were making more than you made at the gas station now, but that's amazing. I'm
It's
happy for you.
yeah, it's slightly more. In the long scheme, I make less money because my insurance is more expensive.
Hmm.
Uh, but I also have the best UPMC insurance money can buy. And with a newborn baby, I can't really complain about that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you need good insurance with a baby and everything. Wow. And how's your mental health been since leaving that place?
I mean, so I still would say that I have like a problem with smoking weed. Like I used it so much as a coping mechanism to handle with the stresses of uh the stresses of operating that company and not getting the appropriate help that I needed in those situations. Um, so like there's still like today where I'm like, man, I really just want to get super high and just not have problems. But I
Right.
would say that every day is a new day and it's getting better. I'm sure that sometime soon I'll stop using drugs to be able to make it through a day.
Well, hey, man, good on you. I've been sober for uh 6 weeks now, actually.
That's dope, dude.
Thanks.
Yeah, like I'm
Thank
saying,
you.
it's not and it's not that like I would say that I have an addiction problem. I used to.
Yeah.
but now I would not say that that's what it is.
Yeah.
Um,
No, it's good that you have those goals to not need it anymore, because you could just as easily be like, because I think there are people who, I mean, there's some people who can handle weed, but then there's other people who clearly have a problem and they don't view it as a problem. Like I remember
right.
I had some Uber customers that were talking about smoking weed and they were so out of their fucking mind that I thought, "Oh my God, I never want to be like that."
And like I always there's always that argument that like is weed addictive, yes or no. It's not necessarily that weed is addictive, but being high and not having to deal with anxiety because that drug prevents you from dealing with that
Hmm.
is addictive in itself.
Oh
Like people
yeah.
need to understand that it's a mindset that you're addicted to, not physically doing that drug.
Yeah, and you know what? People made fun of me before whenever I said, like, my dad was like, "Oh, so one of my friends said that they were having weed withdrawals, and that's funny because that doesn't exist." And I'm like, "Dude, like literally when I quit weed, like I was throwing up. I was throwing up. I
Yeah,
was having trouble breathing. I could not sleep. I felt like shit. I got like really bitchy. I had so many issues when I was quitting weed. Like I would have to be like gasping for air. uh I I threw up so easily. I would just be gagging. Like in between rides picking people up, I would like start gagging and having to like calm myself cuz it's just like, and I looked it up and those are all symptoms of like withdrawing from it. So people say, "Oh, there's no, like sure it's not like alcohol where you'll die if you stop taking it, and sure it's not like heroin where it's like, you get these horrible body cramps that and body sweats and shit like that, but it's like it's just cuz it's not to that extent doesn't mean it's still hard to quit and doesn't mean it's not addictive." You know what I'm saying?
right. Yeah, just because it's not a narcotic doesn't mean you can't get addicted to it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, man, if you ever need anything, like, I talk to you a lot anyway and ask you how you're doing, but like, as far as like getting sober goes, you know, we'll talk more about that later if that's something you want to talk about.
Yeah, definitely. And I wouldn't say that like I don't know if I'll ever be like 100% sober. You know what I mean? But it's more of having the mindset where it's like I don't want to be like waking up every day and being like, oh, I need a hit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's something that like drinking alcohol. If you didn't know, I used to be an alcoholic. Um, and like I never did AA or anything like that. It was just there was a day where I was like, I'm gonna lose my fiance and like my friends and all of my worldly possessions, and I'm gonna become a homeless man, or I can stop drinking and get my shit together. Um, and that's kind of what I did. Like I didn't drink for almost 2 years.
Holy
Um,
shit.
yeah, I completely gave up drinking because it was too important for me to focus on anything else, and I just needed to get my shit together. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and some of us are like all or nothing people. Like people say, "Oh, why don't you just cut back on weed?" And it's like I literally can't. I cannot only take one hit. I cannot only smoke sometimes. It just turns into, "Oh, Phoenix Star says congrats." Thank you. Thank you. Uh and congrats to you too. I almost called you Shrek because of your Discord profile picture. Congrats
Oh,
to
do you
you.
want to you want to tell them what my Discord profile picture is?
It's Shrek making like the horniest face, like a
The
cum face.
horniest old things.
It's like,
Shrek's trying to fuck. I'm pretty sure that's like not a fan image. They just like found the perfect the perfect pause moment.
I love that. Also, I guess they were probably saying congrats to you first, because that's probably a bigger deal, honestly. The fact that you were sober for 2 years, that you didn't drink for 2 years. So I didn't mean to steal that. Congratulations. So that's to you guys, to you. Phoenix Star and Chad Zilch both say congratulations, and that's awesome.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about becoming a better person one day at a time.
Yeah, I love that. And now you're a dad and you're being a great husband to your wife and I'm happy for you, man. Good on you.
Thanks, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I know we went a little bit over on time, but I hope I'm not I hope I didn't uh hold you up from anything. Um
No, no, yeah. I'm just waiting on my wife to go on break at work.
Okay. Guys, what'd you think of the stream? And also, thank you guys so much for showing up. Really appreciate you being here, listen to the stories. Really appreciate you, Richie, sharing all this stuff. Also, sorry again about saying that name earlier. I'll make sure I censor that out before I put it on, YouTube or anything. Um,
Yeah, you're good. In indescript company, you know who you are. Don't sue me.
uh, yeah, don't worry. I'll um I'll edit that shit out. But yeah, thank you for Dank Stream. You are welcome, Legendary Danny, and also thank you, Richie, for the Dank Stream.
Yeah, yeah, not a problem.
All right, guys, I guess that's a wrap. Do I have Scout here, my little sign off buddy? No? He's hiding. Well, anyway. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I will see you tomorrow for our stream on anger management. Chad Zilch says thanks for streaming. Well, thanks for coming. I really appreciate you guys as always. It really means a lot to me that you guys showed up. And yeah, I'm just gushing with a lot of thank yous right now. But yeah, appreciate all you guys. Legendary Danny says I might actually make tomorrow's stream if I get my homework done. Fuck yeah! If you do, that's awesome. I'll be excited to see you there. And if you don't, take your time to do what you got to do. Either way, yeah. If I get to see you, that's awesome. I hope that you get to come. And Chad Zilch says have a good day/night, everybody. And the official Shorty Pop heart. So heart right back to you. All right, guys. Have a good night. Legendary Danny sends a lovely Shorty Pop heart right back. All right. Love you guys. See ya.